ever since the government forsaken the American people by decoupling the U.S. Federal Reserve note against the one thing that restricted them from abusing the monetary power that they had, we have become poorer as a nation. And we always have to take one good comment. We need to always have at least one good comment a day, ladies and gentlemen. Alaska Prepper, I am processing my first time ever pressure cooked batch. So Sir Charles and Mr. Winston Beans, I love the name. So that is outstanding. And I love these comments. Please let us know how it comes out during our next live stream, okay? Please let us know. That is just awesome. And the second announcement I have to make, ladies and gentlemen, is I was checking on Blue Eddy today, and Blue Eddy is on sale for a very good price. So it's on sale at Amazon for $14.99 plus another $100 off, so $13.99. Now, what I went ahead and did is I get a lot of phone calls from new Blue Eddy owners, and they asked me, what else do I need with it? So what I did was I put the two additional cables that I use with my Blue Eddy that I think is necessary in order for you to have. One of them is a branching cable that allows you to hook up up to 4 solar panels. And another one is an extension cable that allows you to hook up the solar panels to the Blue Eddy from up to 30 feet away. All right, so I went ahead and put the link to all of those on the very top of the description of this live stream. So if you are in the market, I know there's a couple of you that are, because I got an email from someone today actually telling me that they were in the market for a Blue Eddy and they were asking me about it. So I decided to check on it, and here you go. It's on sale for a very good price, in my opinion. I mean, that's almost a $600 saving that you get with $100 off. So for those of you that are in the market or looking for one, I think this is a great price for this product. And this is for the Blue Eddy 240 also. It's a 2400 watt hour one. All right. And like I said, the link to the things that you need to go with this in order to make it easy for you to operate it with solar panels are right on the description of this live stream. And today, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to talk about is going to be the birth date. All right. The birth date of fiat currency. And what I mean by that is the U.S. dollar. Some people may say, well, the U.S. dollar is 50 years old. It's been around since 1913. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, a version of the U.S. dollar has been around since 1913. But that version has changed several times. And one of those times was when Richard Nixon decoupled gold from the dollar, making the dollar not be currency anymore. You see, currency, the definition of currency is something that's used to trade value, but something that's actually backed up by value. So currency is like, for example, a piece of paper, i.e. a dollar, but that dollar has a backing behind it that gives it value. That dollar used to have gold backing it, which gave it value, right? But what governments didn't like is that it restricted them on how much they can print, because they can only print so much as what they had in gold, right? So they didn't like that. So in 1971, when other countries around the world started to get suspicious and started demanding to get their gold back and trade for all of the dollars that they had gathered via trade, Nixon said, wait a minute, we're going to run out of gold here if this keeps up. So he decoupled the dollar from gold. And effectively what that did was it started stealing the wealth from the American workers, in addition to other workers overseas that rely on dollars, because there are several countries overseas, ladies and gentlemen, that actually interact with the dollar in their actual own economies. So it started stealing our wealth. So what I did is I just did, and ladies and gentlemen, it's so easy to do this research. It took me about 15, 20 minutes to do a little bit of research so that I can give you some numbers. But let me tell you what has happened to us ever since the dollar was decoupled from gold. So back in 1970, the average price of gasoline was 36 cents a gallon. That was in 1970. And of course, just go ahead and fill in the blank. What are you paying for gasoline today? Is it anything close to that? Has the nature of the gasoline changed? Back then, gasoline was being sold and bought so that it can fuel combustible engines, i.e. for your vehicle, lawnmower, anything that needed gasoline. That's what it was used for. Today, what is gasoline used for? Same things. So gasoline hasn't really changed much, but it's gone up in price anywhere between 8 to 10 times since 1970. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? If gasoline has not changed, if the number of BTUs in a gallon of gasoline is still the same today as it was back 50 years ago, why is it that gasoline is now 8 to 10 times more expensive than what it was back in 1970? I will let you decide for yourself what the answer to that is. But me, I can tell you right now, it's because the value of the dollar has been diminished. All right, here's another one. Back in 1970, the average home, the average 3-bedroom home in the United States, so they took all the houses and they combined them and they said this is the average 3-bedroom home in the United States, cost around $24,000. $24,002 was the cost of the average 3-bedroom home in the United States. Today, the average of a 3-bedroom home is roughly $428,000. That's roughly about an 18 time, something like that, close to 18 times more. What? I have a calculator right here. Let me get my calculator and do that real quick. So we got 428 divided by 24. That's 17.8 times more. So today, your garden variety 3-bedroom family home costs about 18 times more than what it did back in 1970. Now, has the function of a home changed any since 1970? In 1970, a 3-bedroom home was used for you to live in, for you to store your stuff, like George Carlin likes to say. He says houses are just big boxes that you fill up with stuff, right? But has it really changed any? Some people may say, well, the technology is better today. Well, technology, ladies and gentlemen, is actually deflationary. So if homes have gotten better today and technology has gotten better, houses should actually be cheaper because technology is deflationary. Ask yourselves when flat screen TVs first came out, how much they were and how much they are now comparatively to the same size that they were when they first came out. So why is it that the value of a home, not the value, but the price, the nominal price of a home has gone up by almost 18 times in the last 50 years? I would say it's because the dollar has lost a lot of its value. Let's see. The median income of a family in the United States in 1970. In 1970, the median income, the average income of a working family in the United States was just shy of $10,000. It was $9,800. We'll call it $10,000, right? So back in 1970, a family could purchase a regular home, an average home, for just a little more than 2 years times their salary. For about 2.2 years times their salary. Today, the average annual salary in the United States, and this is the number they give us, of course, and we'll use that number. I think it's a little lower, but we'll use that number. It's $66,000. So if we divide the average cost of a home today by $66,000, that's 6.5 times more. That means that if the average salary today in the United States is as they state, why is it that the average home now costs a family about 6.5, 7 times more of their salary than what it did back in 1970? I would say, ladies and gentlemen, that it's because the dollar has lost so much value. So I think you see where I'm going with that now. Now, I'll finish it off with these two things as far as how much value the dollar has lost. Because what you need to remember is this. I've said this before, but I'll say it again just in case someone didn't hear me. When you think of the value of the dollar going down, the way you have to think about it is that your labor is getting stolen from you because you work for those dollars. So just like in 1970, a person only had to work 2.2 years to buy an average home. Today, it takes the average person for the average salary almost 7 years. So in the last 50 years, if you want to buy a house comparatively to 1970, you have to give up an additional 5 years of your life. That's how you think about fiat currency, the dollar, or even money, even gold. It has time, your time stored in it. Your time is stored in that ounce of gold if you decide to purchase an ounce, or silver. So since 1970, you will have to give up an additional 5 years of your life if you want to be able to purchase your average home in the United States. In 1970, ladies and gentlemen, 1 ounce of gold was around $170. Today, 1 ounce of gold is roughly $1,700 and change. Let's just say $1,700 to make it easy. Well, why is the 1 ounce of gold today nominally priced at $1,700 when in 1970 it was priced at $170? Has the gold changed? The gold hasn't changed. Gold is an element. It hasn't changed since then. So what has changed? The dollar, ladies and gentlemen. Back in 1970, 1 ounce of silver was nominally priced at about $1.70. Today, it's priced at about, let's say, $23, $25, whatever it is. That's almost 20 times more, not 20, about 15 times more than what it was priced, nominally priced back in 1970. Did silver change? Did the molecular structure and the silver change from then till now? Or what do you think it may be? I would say that it's the dollar, ladies and gentlemen, that has been losing its value over the last 50 years. Ever since the government forsaken the American people by decoupling the U.S. Federal Reserve note against the one thing that restricted them from abusing the monetary power that they had, we have become poorer as a nation. We have become a nation of debt slaves. And why do I say that? Because in 1971, when we were decoupled, when the dollar was decoupled from gold, it literally became a debt note. We literally switched over from a currency system, from an actual system where the dollar had real value because it was backed up by something real, to a system where the dollar is nothing but debt. Because every time that you transfer that dollar to someone else by purchasing something, they are only taking it because they believe that that IOU that you gave them will be good enough for them to trade for something else. So when you get paid in dollars, you're getting paid IOUs for something that you hope that dollar will purchase you in the future. And then on top of that, the government steals the value from that dollar from all dollar holders, from everyone that holds dollars. The government steals that value by creating more of those dollars out of thin air, further diluting the money supply within the economy. And as you can see in the last year, year and a half, what happens when you have so many dollars in the economy? Well, the price inflation happens, right? Price inflation, price hikes happen because too many dollars in the economy chasing the same or fewer amount of goods will result in higher prices. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that I've broken it down for you enough to where you can understand it if you don't have a mind for like economics or numbers. I hope that you understand how it is that the dollar is what's been used to enslave us. We have to pay taxes in dollars, and therefore we have to earn dollars. But the dollars that we earn is taking more and more of our time to earn those dollars. So it is our time, our freedom that is being stolen from us every time that they decide to print another 1.5 trillion, another 3.8 trillion. Every time that they decide to print that, it is our freedoms that they're stealing from us, our time, our labor.
Nutrient survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient survival, feed your freedom.